And now for what's tipping the scales of justice in the lip filler alleged child killer case. Was it murder or was it manslaughter? Prosecutors say the defendant, Maya Hernandez, left her 1- and 2-year-old boys strapped into their car seats while she went in for a lip filler injection treatment. 1-year-old baby Amillio died. Hernandez said she left the air on, but it shut off on its own an hour later. Both the prosecution and the defense delivered opening statements on Monday. Let's take a listen.
This case is called the People vs. Maya Hernandez. But we are here today because of two young boys, two babies. One lost his life and one lost his brother. The one person who was supposed to protect, supposed to put her two sons above everything else, chose herself. On that day, June 29th, 2025, the defendant chose vanity. She chose her appearance over her sons.
This is an incredibly sad case about a 20-year-old mother of two, a car, and a terrible, awful mistake. But it's not about murder. Now, you've already heard that this case involves 4 counts. I want to say at the beginning of the case, here and now, that I intend to concede the counts related to involuntary manslaughter and child endangerment that are charged in counts 2, 3, and 4 when I speak to you again near the end of the case.
I thought that was some really smart, effective lawyering right there from defense counsel to concede that. So telling the jury up front, look, we are acknowledging she killed her child, she endangered her child, but we're not acknowledging it's a murder. It wasn't a murder. It was an involuntary manslaughter. That's often very effective, concession up front. Why couldn't they reach a plea if he was willing to concede that? Let's talk about this. Let's bring in our legal eagles, Kevin Brackett and Josh Marquis. Josh, I'll start with you here. When I heard that, I thought, why weren't they able to arrive at a plea agreement? Your thoughts on that?
Well, the facts of the case are really egregious. This isn't just a 20-year-old woman who put her kids in a car and ran in for a couple minutes. These are 1- and 2-year-old children that were locked into a car seat. She was told that this medical spa that allow her to have her lips plumped up, and I don't even know if you can call it medical, I think they call them estheticians. In any event, that she could bring the kids in. She chose not to. She leaves the kids for 2 hours in the car. And what happens, and I didn't know this, she had a 2022 model car. They shut down. If someone is not operating the controls or turning the gears, etc. So those kids started to die probably 30, 40 minutes. Did she go outside? Did she check on them? No, she didn't. And you're right, Julie, she was originally charged with involuntary manslaughter, which is kind of what you would expect if a mother made a mistake, things happened, there was a crisis and she didn't get back. But it was 2 hours that these children literally baked to death. In California, second-degree murder can be committed if there is implied malice and if there's a conscious disregard for human life. And what's important in this case, Hernandez was originally indicted just on the involuntary manslaughter charged. They took the case, when they took the case to grand jury, apparently the grand jury thought the case was more serious, and that's why it's been charged more seriously. Now, I understand why the defense attorney is saying, well, we'll make the concession. Now, your viewers should know that involuntary manslaughter is at least 2 or 3 clicks below second-degree murder. There's another charge in between called voluntary manslaughter in California. So basically, the sentence that he's willing to accept would probably be a couple years as opposed to 15.
Mm-hmm. Right. Smart lawyering. Kevin, what do you think about this case? The sides seem pretty far apart, don't they?
Yeah, I agree with Josh, Julie. I mean, the lawyer really did not have a choice. There is no defense for putting your 1- and 2-year-old children into a car and walking away for 2 hours. I mean, even if it hadn't been in the upper 90s, in Bakersfield, California that day. You know, even if it had been a moderate temperature and the heat wasn't an issue, it's still dangerous. You can't leave children unattended for that long. Somebody could come along and break the window out and kidnap them, take them away. They're bad people out there. You just can't do that. The very fact that she left them unattended in a car outside for that long is enough to get to the involuntary. So he really had no choice. But like Josh said, he's going to concede the lesser charge because it is so much less painful for her than the second-degree murder would be, and it's really going to come down to what the jury believes was her intent, and was this behavior on her part so reckless and so thoughtless that it rises to this implied malice that would justify a second-degree murder. So I think that the prosecution is right to say, we'll let a jury decide this, because it sounds pretty bad. I mean, there really isn't any excuse for leaving a 1- and 2-year-old in a car that long.
It's horrific. Really sharp analysis from you both.